And welcome in to the League Down Under. It's the podcast that takes you inside the inner sanctum of our Dynasty League, and it asks the question, which team are you going to side with? I'm your host, Ben, joined as always by my two co-hosts, Keaney and Hod. How are we travelling?
Going well, mate. Going well. The countdown's on, boys. We're not far away. We've had the Hall of Fame game, and we've got some pre-season action coming up. Hod, how you doing, mate?
Very good. There is no better month of the year in August. Only the greats are born in this month, and football season is upon us. What do we think, quickly, of the Hall of Fame game? Not often you get a good game like that.
A shootout, wasn't it?
Anytime you get a shootout with 63 points on the board, not bad at all. Beck, I know you spoke about
Glowingly.
Nothing to look forward to there because he's starting, but he had a bit of go about him.
Quarterback controversy already.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to ask the question. I think you even said it off air, Hod. What are the Cards doing? What are they doing?
Play the kid. They want to lose anyway.
Yep.
Our man Jim, drafting well again. Another draft story potentially on the cards with Jim and Carson Beck. What will he sell him for?
Well, that's it. The pattern is he drafts well and he never holds on to these well-drafted assets. He's the inverse of the DFF, who doesn't draft well and holds on to them for dear life, except for that one little trade he did last week.
310 he picked him up for. He could get a third rounder for him, couldn't he?
Oh, he'll be at an all-time high right now. It's a perfect time to sell him. But we say why play Brissett, but it probably isn't the best thing for all of the pass catchers in Arizona, which are some significant assets for fantasy football.
But what I would say is, and we thought this heading into the season, but we thought Carson Beck would get some game time this year, and there's no doubt off the back of that at some point they will have a look at him.
Yeah, absolutely. It also, like, the Hall of Fame game, but actually the Hall of Fame itself, obviously that's the point of the game. My takeaway is, boy, do I feel old right now when the inductees you've got, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, please jump on the League Down Under on YouTube. In the background there, Keaney, you got old Drew Breesy signed jersey on the wall there.
My man.
Newly into the Hall of Fame, gave a fantastic speech. Larry Fitzgerald, Adam Vinatieri, I mean, these were all mainstays when we were getting into this amazing sport. And then the one that makes me feel super old is Luke Kuechly. I saw him get drafted and retire and then get inducted into the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, this is the first time that there isn't... I mean, Roger Craig, I'm not as across him, but normally there's a whole bunch of names that I'm like, okay, they were big in maybe the 80s. Fair enough, I don't know them that well. I know all these guys outside of Roger Craig extremely well.
It's the first year there's probably been, as you said, guys that we played when they were in their prime.
Yeah.
And they were like core assets of fantasy. It's probably the first time that's happened, eh? So it is a bit, it does show we're getting a bit old, I don't know. How do you feel about it, Hod? Are you feeling okay about that? Like, who's going to be next, mate? Cam Newton?
I feel better about it than your vocabulary.
Well, speaking of.
Oh, jeez. Segui.
We love a good segue and we love a good butchered saying. No, probably no one likes them better than you, Hod. Your face lights up every time one of us just fumbles our way through some words.
I've enjoyed your starts the last 2 weeks.
The fact that I got through the intro today without stuffing up any words here, but one that really, it got us thinking about our favourite butchered sayings or words, one that's had an absolute workout. I'm going to just kick it off with, you'll probably get sick of hearing it on this pod, but we certainly haven't. It's just going to make me giggle every time I hear it. But guys, I've gone off and I've done a bit of research here and a few of my favourites that have come to mind. I'll just run you through a few of them right now and get your thoughts.
And the winner of the Norm Smith Medal for 2010 is Scott Embry from Collingwood.
He was blind, that bloke.
He gets the wrong year, stuffs up the name Scott Embry, and then just finishes with a emphatic Collingwood.
That got him back on track, I reckon. Got the crowd involved.
Nailed it. Another great one from the AFL scene here.
Firstly, like, my heart's pumping 1,000 minutes per second, so if I screw it up, don't hate on me.
Hate to break it to you, Jack. You might have screwed it up in the first few seconds.
Young Jackie Higgins, not the sharpest tool in the shed. Young Jack, I think he mentioned that if he wasn't playing, I think a few clubs asked him at the time because that was his first year. He won the Rising Star, but I think a few clubs asked him if you weren't playing footy, what would you do? And his response was, "I'd be a goal umpire."
Hey mate, some of the greats goal umpires. Your old man.
True.
Loves a goal umpire.
No shade.
On a side note, you caught him ironing his flags one day, didn't you?
Yeah, he hand washes and irons his flags, so they are crisp. They are crisp when waving.
Crisp for the wave. Oh God, I'll get back. I'll get us back on track to the butchered saint. My favourite though, guys. I'm going to stray away from AFL. This has got to be my favourite of all time.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, "Fool me once, shame on you." If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
When it comes to butchered sayings, you can't go past the American president, George W.
The best part was he said, "There's a famous saying in Tennessee." Well, it is in Texas. So I'm sure
probably
it'll be in Tennessee.
Probably Tennessee. He's done his research. Oh, Keaney, what's one that comes to mind for you?
Nah, I've got one that always makes me laugh. There's a workmate of mine that and it probably doesn't compare to some of those that are unbelievable, but he always used to say this. It made me laugh whenever there was some weather approaching and the clouds got a bit dark. He always used to say the clouds are looking anonymous, which is close, but probably not what we're after at that.
Just
at
added
that
a
point in time.
few extra letters.
Yeah, a few extra letters. Anyway, he tried his best.
Clouds. Well, I'm going back to the footy circles because there is a saying, "Dumb footballers," for a reason, and this segment's shining light on that. But I always love hearing a lisp, and especially when they go straight to the word.
They're pretty straight to the word. They don't talk a lot of smoke and shadows behind the windows.
Oh, Travis Cloke. He's lucky he could play the game. That's for sure. But I reckon we have a Travis Cloke in this league, don't you reckon?
We definitely have our own Travis Cloke in this league, and I want, if you're watching this on YouTube, before we go and play this last one, go and pop the name in the comments here. Who do you think is going to be our Travis Cloke? But we finish with our great man.
Not ideal, but not catastrophic either.
Shit. A lot of similarities with Travis Cloke, and football is certainly not one of them.
Tua Tagovailoa was
geez,
part of the DFX as well.
Yeah.
He's got
He came up to me and tried to give me the old Tua Tag, whatever you pronounce his last name.
He's got range, our man. He's got a catalogue. He's got a catalogue.
He does.
Oh.
Oh, God. All right, let's straighten us back up with some news.
Every newsman in this city's laughing at us, and I don't like it.
Oh, shit.
All right, well, we spoke about payday last week, and I reckon we might have even talked this into existence, Keaney, because we spoke about the running back getting paid in comparison to the wide receiver, and then we floated these two names. A few days later, both Gibbs and Bijan both getting paid. Gibbs with a 3-year, $67.5 million extension, and Bijan with a $75 million extension. I think 51 of that is guaranteed. So good money for running backs, but obviously they are two elite running backs. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be seeing any higher contracts. That is the ceiling that we're going to see for quite some time. I suppose the only two that might see higher contracts in the next few years would be the two guys on your roster, Keaney, in Genty and Love. They're certainly going to fit into that echelon. And Hampton as well, absolutely. They'll probably be the next three that get paid big money.
And you know, Hod, JT got paid as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
his was
2 years.
40-something mil?
Yeah, 22 a year.
Yeah.
So
Not bad.
pretty similar.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
He's a bit older than those two as well. So
What did Clyde Edwards-Helaire get?
Clyde. I'm not sure. Well, I might have to get research team onto that one.
Would have had his jersey retired in the DFF factory.
It is on the factory wall, and if we need a visual of that, we know that Scoot will definitely be jumping onto his chatbot right now and getting an AI generation of that visual for us. We'll move on to some injury news here and some pretty sad news when it comes to this region of the body. My groin! Luther Burden. He's been the talk of the town this off-season, but he's just dealing with a groin injury, and they've pretty much ruled him out for pre-season, and the hope is that he'll be good for week 1. So how does this make you feel? I know we've given our thoughts on the wide receiver picks there in Chicago. We're still thinking that Burden holds good value, and we're going into draft season for redraft. Does this scare you away from a Luther Burden pickup?
Doesn't. I'll go first. It doesn't scare me away completely. It just hopefully lowers the price. Maybe there's less competition in an auction league, for example, for him. But I still think he'll have a fair bit of love. I'd rather take the cheapest piece if I can get it.
I was going to focus more on the dynasty aspect for our man Scoot. He's already thin at this position, and this is probably his diamond in the rough here that he needs to explode to get this team to where he wants to and go back to back. So I don't know if it will drop his redraft value too much, but soft tissue in the preseason, it's an awful way to start the year because they can linger. And
Sure
another
can.
groin.
Absolutely, another groin. Josh Downs dealing with... Is the severity
Day-to-day.
as bad, or is day-to-day?
Day-to-day at this stage.
And then we'll stick with the wide receiver room in Indianapolis here. Alec Pierce, still recovering from his ankle surgeries, come off the $114 million extension. So that's it was a lot of money. It was a big talking point about, they're paying someone who arguably didn't put up wide receiver 1 numbers. So there's a lot of upside there, but still getting injections into the ankle. This is certainly one that, from your insight here, Hod, you are our resident doctor on the show here. Is that something to be concerned with, or is that sort of par for the course with a surgery like what he went through?
It's definitely something to be concerned about. He was caught limping around the other day, but you're going to have a bit of soreness after the injection. But it's just a way to fast track some healing there. He's another one that's, got the extension, so his dynasty value is somewhat fine. However, he's going to have to start the year pretty slow. So they said 2 weeks, so mid-August, which would only give him 2 weeks prep out on the field before week 1. It's going to be pretty hard for him to start fast. But Daniel Jones, I still am amazed by this 7 months post-op. But he is unlimited in his training camp and running the offense, which bodes well for all Colts.
Well,
absolutely.
With all these injuries, is it possible that the electrical substation in San Francisco isn't the reason for all these injuries? Maybe just every team's getting them, and maybe they're just running a lot of drills and they're just under condition. Maybe that's the case, or is it still a controversy, do you think?
No, correlation is causation all the time. Cool. That's a hard known fact around here. But yeah, speaking of another guy who got paid, it makes for a lovely story. Got paid and is now injured as well. Zay Flowers, he just got paid, got his flowers, and now he's out with a quad injury. It's not spoken about too severely. His is also a day-to-day. He's just out of practice at the moment, but certainly one to watch, and that's one for Timos to... He's got a very nice wide receiver room there, but I'm sure he will want him flying pretty soon. But continue... Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say, and a nice little... some nice training reports for Jacoby Lane off the back of this as well. So he could get a little boost, whether it's in both formats. But I think he's making some waves, and with Zay Flowers not there for 3 to 4 weeks, it could even enhance it even further.
Zay Flowers, I still am staggered by, got double the amount of guaranteed money than Bijan Robinson, one of the best offensive weapons in the game. Gibbs appeared on the injury report the other day with a back. So it must be they get the payday and then all of a sudden the injuries come out.
Yep.
Just like Pierce did as well. But a big one.
Yeah. The other one we don't have on there quickly, just with the reminder me with Detroit, is Pacheco is as the running back to it's reasonably sprained MCL or sprained PCL, I think. So watch this space. I've heard some rumblings around maybe one of the Arizona running backs potentially getting traded to Detroit. So watch this space.
Yeah, if James Conner lands there, that would be a very interesting pickup with those injuries going on. And we're going to touch on a couple here. And sorry, Timos, if it feels like we're just drilling into your bad luck right now. But this one is an offensive lineman, which for those playing at home, you don't start in fantasy football. But they do have a flow-on effect. Laramie Tunsil, torn tricep here, and that is a massive blow for Jaden Daniels, who's coming back from injury himself. Everyone's expecting him to have a massive sort of uptick of a year, absolutely, going back to his rookie season. So, yeah, Hod, you had some nice stats on Laramie Tunsil, who's a very, very handy left tackle.
He was, is 1 or 2 ranked by PFF last year at the position. So I wouldn't say that the Washington line is known to be one of the top ones. So when you lose your top one, that's going to have a huge flow-on effect. Best case scenario for this injury is 6 months, so that it'd be looking at playoffs, which with a 7.5 over/under for the Commanders, I don't think he'll be playing this year, which is it's got to impact how you view the Commanders, especially Daniels a little bit, but not ideal.
Not ideal, and neither is this news for the newly acquired player of the Straight Cash Homies, CMC, not participating. And, you might normally see a news report of just he's sitting out of practice because of tightness. But when it's CMC, it just carries a little bit more weight because we've all been there, and I think the three of us have all owned him in a redraft league when those stories were coming in very fast. I was also owning him in Dynasty when those stories were coming in the preseason, and you read them and go, it's just tightness. It's not that big a deal. And then it happens again and you go, okay, all right, maybe I'll just keep that at the back of mind. He took the risk on getting him, and this is the you basically don't want to see a single report about any injury, don't you, when you take that risk?
What's the tightness?
Just everything.
I think it was
some things tightening is good.
Yeah, well,
could be a good tighten.
If you're having a good practice, you might feel a bit of tightening. You never know.
But he is at that 30 years of age, so hyper aware.
Yeah, well, cast our eyes back to 12 months ago, and he had the same tightness, and we all did the same thing, and then he went on to have a RB1 season. So hopefully for Timos and one of the real contenders this year, a newly acquired asset, he's back practicing very soon.
And we will finish here with this one's just a bit of an interesting one. It's Aaron Donald watch. The Myles Garrett trade took place almost a month or so ago now, and massive trade in the NFL world. And then there was a lot of talk about Aaron Donald potentially coming out of retirement, and Jesus, that would be a pretty scary defensive line to come up against, but also the flow-on effect that's going to have for the offensive players of the Rams. They're not, if that is to be the case, you got to think that they're not going to see the field nearly as much as what they were before getting Myles Garrett and getting Donald back. So probably going to tank slightly the stock of, your Puka and Kyron and Stafford, who are going to be volume play type of guys. So just an interesting one to watch there. So
it looks a bit of a fait accompli that he's going to get on the team and he's going to be a part of this. Every day I see a new training session that he's getting a part of and the prep. Yep. I just wonder, is he going to come down to Australia to kick the season off, boys?
Ooh.
That would be pretty sweet.
That would be.
How long's he been out for? A season?
2.
2?
So 2. So all he's doing, speaking of Hall of Fame game, is he's pushing his first ballot Hall of Fame induction back 2, 3, it'll be 7 years with the 2 years he's already served. So it takes 5 again, from the last game he played. So a big decision, but if he gets another Super Bowl, which they are the favourite for, I think you'd say good call.
All right, well, let's move into a new segment that we're going to debut tonight, and that's just we're going to be looking at maybe some overreactions and some trades.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
There's a deep cut of a
Good drop.
Sound drop there. So, we always refer to, and even when we're not looking at team makeups, we're finding a way to refer to our mates at Dynasty Daddy. So we thought, let's look back there again. It's just a wealth. I mean, we've got to reach out to the people who created this site, because not only do they do a deep dive into your league, and if you're not watching, you can jump on youtube.com. It's an up-and-coming website. And we've got a screen grab here of... They have gone through the fantasy football trade database, and they do a little bubble chart, and it's just showing the bubbles of the most traded players, or the players included in the most trades here. So purple, you can see, are wide receivers. That red colour is your running backs. They are dominating the trade scene here, and there's just Isaiah Likely's the one different colour just hanging out there. The rest are all wide receivers and running backs here. So just a notable one, you've got Tootin as one of the biggest for running back, and equally he's probably the 3 biggest, Harrison, Parker Washington, and Stephon Diggs. Actually, we didn't talk about him in the news, but he's up and coming, just signed with the Commanders there. So I'm going to run you guys through, as we've got these bubbles on here. It's got us thinking about some trades here that are actual trades that are also sitting in the trade database here on Dynasty Daddy, and I'm going to get your opinion of which side of the trade you'd rather be on, and you've got to basically sell your case here. So, Keaney, we'll kick it off with you. We'll go with one of these big dots here, Brian Thomas Jr., and a mid-27 first for Pickens and a 27 third.
Yeah, this one, I think I lean towards the BTJ and pick side on this one. I just think if we rewind 12 months ago, this would have been an absolute smash on the one side. I think Brian Thomas can rebound. I think Pickens is a very, very good wide receiver. Is he ever going to be a wide receiver one in totality in fantasy? No, with CeeDee Lamb there. I just don't know if he's the elite asset I'm giving the 2027 first and the player for. So give me the first and BTJ.
Love it. And I forgot to say, if you disagree or agree with either of these two guys here, please jump in the comment section. We got to get this debate. This is what these segments are all about. Get a bit of debate and discord and discussion going on. So, tell me if you agree or disagree. Hod, it sounded like you disagree.
Yeah, 2 polarising assets.
Yeah, well, the irony in this is I'm so invested in the 27 class, in particular the first round, but I'm actually on the other side of this one. I think the biggest variable here is whether you think Brian Thomas Jr. is bouncing back or not. I am of the opinion that Parker Washington is now their number one, and so that for me makes it an easy choice for Pickens, who's a top 12 dynasty wide receiver right now. That's not changing this year. He's in the same offense, which is arguably one of the best in football. And it's not enough for me because of the 27th third here. So it's essentially the difference between Pickens and BTJ is not made up because the first to the third, which in this class is really a second in most drafts. So I actually like that. If the third wasn't in there, I'd probably lean the same way as Keaney. But because the third's in there, that bridges the gap too far for me. And the other thing with Pickens is he's going to be on the Cowboys this year, meaning he's top 12. When players get a new contract in free agency, their value spikes again. So that's insulating his value as an asset for 2 years at least. And then he's going to get a 2 to 3 year deal somewhere else, most likely 3 years. So I think it's a pretty safe asset to own. And BTJ is just too unknown for me right now.
Good call. All right, Chuck it in the comments if you agree or disagree. We'll move to the next one here, Keaney, and this is a 2-for-1 special, or we like to call a Presti special. Roma Dunze and Lad McConkey for Justin Jefferson. Juicy one.
Very juicy. So both those boys, Rome and Lad, are 24 and JJ's 27 years of age, which is probably relevant in this. I actually really like this one. I think I went back and forth a little bit. This is very much a contender rebuild type of trade, I think. So if I'm contending, give me the best asset in the deal and give me Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
I think you nailed that. As for the trade, you'd have to really look at it as a redraft lens to work out the winner of the deal. I really like Rome and Lad this year as values, and Justin Jefferson on talent's the best receiver in the league, right there with Chase and Puka, if not at the top.
Yep.
It's just this quarterback situation that is always a little bit of the unknown, and he proved last year that when the quarterback play is terrible, that does have a pretty big impact on the receiver. So the fact that not one quarterback has stood out right now in camp is a little concerning, and I just wonder whether we're going to have another year of one of the best receivers not getting the delivery he needs when Rome and Lad are on arguably 2 of the top 5 offenses in the league and no questions at the quarterback.
That was my point that I was going to raise here, and Keaney, you touched on it there. If this is rebuilding versus contending, it certainly brings a different element of thought to it. But I look at this and go, in 12 months' time, you propose this exact same trade. Is the gap a lot closer? And I think it is. I think Rome and Lad have very, very good seasons with the offensive coordinators and the coaching schemes around those two guys. And I think Jefferson, if he has another great season, he maintains value. He doesn't increase in value. So he has the potential to maintain or drop, whereas the other two, I think, have a pretty high potential to gain. So I kind of look at this and go, you could pull the trigger on this trade, and in 12 months' time, you could do it again and get something else in return, potentially. So
maybe. Just before we move, I just think it's hard to get superstars in a trade. So, like, I think if this sort of came up, you just take the superstar.
Well, it's the first time he's
out.
really gettable, isn't it, Jefferson?
Yep.
For sure. All right, Hod, let's keep it moving. We'll jump to you for this one here. We are throwing out Cam Ward and Tate. You know, get the nice duo there, the stack for Jackson Dart, Travion Henderson, and Terry McLaurin.
This just reeks of contender rebuild again for mine. The rebuilding team. Ward and Tate is a fantastic stack to get, in my opinion. But for a contender, Jackson Dart's sitting at QB8 or thereabouts. Henderson's RB12, and McLaurin, look, he's old enough now where he's borderline wide receiver 3 territory in Dynasty, but for redraft, you'd argue that he's top 15 for this coming season. Do we think the Diggs factor impacts McLaurin?
Not for me.
A little bit. I think it's a great landing spot for Diggs. As the Diggs owner, I'm very happy with that. I think there's opportunity there for him. I think they'll both get theirs, to be honest. I just don't think there's much else there. So where are you at with Cam Ward, Hod?
Yeah, again, for a rebuilder, I think he's the perfect quarterback to have. We look at what Brian Dable, and again, don't take Josh Allen comparisons out of
not again.
Context. But look at what Dable did with Josh Allen when he came into that offense after Josh Allen's 2 years initially. Ward's only had one. It wasn't great, but he does have a way with these young quarterbacks, and all they've done is invest in the offense this year with Carnell Tate, Wandale Robinson, and a bit of offensive line help. So I lean the side of Dart, Henderson, and McLaurin. It's just in a vacuum for the trade, but I really like that stack and would be all about it for a rebuilder moving forward.
I'd be nervous. I reckon the other side's clearly better.
The Dart
side, yep. Because I just think Dart's
standalone
is just his value. Full stop is just way higher than Ward.
There's the injury risk. If he gets a couple more concussions this year while scrambling, then
he's done it though. I just think it's valuable that he's had a year that
that's
is
a good
proven, and Ward, we're a little bit unsure. And if it goes backwards for Ward, this could be a landslide.
As the Giants man, are you agreeing with that Dart's year was proven? He had injuries, he had inaccuracy issues, but he did show that he runs the ball, which is obviously a cheat code in fantasy.
It's the rushing. That's a massive win for him, and he's not going to take that out of his game. So as long as he's healthy, he's already going to be in QB1 contention just by being healthy alone, because you know he's going to get scrambling touchdowns. He had the most touchdowns of any rookie last year, I think, didn't he? Or he had more touchdowns than Saquon Barkley did in his rookie season and Bijan did in their rookie season. So pretty good start to your career.
And Ben, more importantly, he plays for the New York Giants. The New York Giants.
I'm nervous.
If you haven't seen that clip.
Oh, God. Don't do yourself a favour. Don't watch it. John Harbaugh. I love the fact that we got him as our coach, but, God, that's up there with some of the most cringy stuff you'll see.
The irony with this trade, lastly, is Dart had Dable.
Yeah.
And now Dable's with Cam Ward. And I would much rather have Dable than Matt Nagy as my offensive coordinator.
That's a good variable, but I suppose from a dynasty point of view, it could be a one and done. I'm kind of hoping it's a one and done as a Giants fan. All right, Keaney, next one. We're looking at, finally, we've got a name drop here.
Emeka Egbegboo.
4, Rome and a 27 second. Which side are you going to be on?
I like both players this year. I think this comes back to what Hod was saying in the Pickens one, whereas I think that 27 second is so valuable that I think the gap between players isn't much. So give me the second and Rome in this one.
I don't know if the DFF would agree. This is a
second
landslide.
tips it over.
It's a landslide. Wide receiver 1 incoming for this year.
Is there a henchkey on that?
I think there is.
I reckon there is.
I agree. I would prefer the Rome and the 27 second, because Rome can be where Egbuka is now as a low end wide receiver 1, high end wide receiver 2. But I think Baker's on a tear this year, and Egbuka's now the Z receiver, which is where he started last year and was the best rookie wide receiver in the first 6 games of NFL history. So,
but can you look at this and go, Egbuka probably got the most ideal start to a rookie season. McMillan goes out like the week before the season starts.
No Evans, no Godwin.
Godwin was coming back from a knee injury. Evans was injured, 2 big injuries in the one season. It couldn't have fallen better for him. So that's my only thing with Egbuka.
It probably hasn't changed much, though. Evans is gone. Godwin's 32, and
McMillan's back. So he's got to contend with that. I'm with you, Keaney. I don't see there being a huge difference potentially. I really am buying the upside of Rome, and I think that's probably how you view this trade. If you're buying the upside of Rome, then you're getting a second on top in a good draft.
Yeah. And Papa made a very good point, which I've just made for Egbuka, is Rome started pretty much just as well in that same period and then had the foot issue. So, many would argue that they're similar in talent and good offenses.
Let's move from wide receivers now, Hod, to some running backs. And we've got Quinshon Judkins 4, Josh Jacobs, and a 27 mid first. Jacobs, who's still under a bit of controversy cloud here, but I mean, it's looking like, because we haven't heard, he's going to be playing for at least a good chunk of this season, if not all of it.
This is a smash for the Jacobs and first side.
I was trying to build it up.
I agree.
I was
hoping you went the other way.
Yeah, same. I thought when you were fist pumping there, you were on the Judkins side. He's had 15 touchdowns, almost a touchdown per game in his 2 years in Green Bay. That's not changing. The only unknown is whether anything will happen. I personally believe it will happen in the year after.
Yep.
So Jacobs is a head-to-head. I would have him not higher in Dynasty, but not too far behind. I'm fading Judkins a little bit. Sorry, Scoot. I just think this offense has a chance to be really, really bad. And although he's getting passing down work, I don't believe he's got the potential of what Jacobs does to do this year. And then you're adding a first on top.
Also,
I don't care if that was a late first. I'm still doing it.
Judkins coming back from injury as well can't be forgotten about too. It's not like he's coming in with like a perfect bill of health or anything like that. All right, let's.
Good point.
Dylan Sampson's behind him. So just confirming, these are real trades that have happened.
These are real
trades.
trades.
Happened in the last week.
Yeah.
And it's all super flex.
Oh, yeah.
Tight
I actually
end,
forgot to say that at the start.
12
team. Yeah, same settings as us. So, absolutely, this is all on par with what potentially could go down in the Empire Dynasty League here. So, next one, Hod, Breece Hall and Jalen Waddle. I swear we're not just targeting DFF players here. For Brian Thomas Jr., Jordan Addison, and a 29 first.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because on the Dynasty Daddy bubble graph, Marvin Harrison was the most traded player this offseason, which coincides with the big trade that happened in our league between Papa and Camo. But BTJ seems to be the one that keeps popping up here. He was up there as well. I like talking about this because we don't often talk about Jordan Addison. And I wanted to get your thoughts on this guy who, coming out of college, was one of the most heralded receivers, won the Biletnikoff, super talented. We know the story with BTJ, and then you're adding a first on top for Breece Hall and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's, a pick by a lot of people to be that boom player this year, to jump from a wide receiver 2 to 1. I think for a contender, Breece and Waddle is definitely the play here. Breece will be solid in a pretty shitty offense, but what do you think, Keaney? Because it is a fair bit of capital as well with the first there coming back your way.
Landslide. Give me Breece and Waddle. This one's a one-sided one for me. I just don't. What BTJ and Addison could be nothing. Like, not nothing, but just like secondary pieces in their offense. The 29 first, I don't know, is that a real year? That's that far away. Who cares? And you're getting Breece Hall, who should have a massive year, and Waddle, who should have a massive year. It's particularly for a contender, that's an absolute no-brainer, in my view. Ben?
No, really, it comes down to what you believe for Brian Thomas's outcomes for this season. I think that is the big sort of point of this trade here, of which side you'd be on.
Actually, just side note, I actually think the Jets might be sneaky this year. I actually think they could be competitive and decent on offense. And I think Breece Hall could have a good year.
Big call. All right, we might timestamp that one just in case we need to come back to it. You love to keep a receipt.
My only concern is the coach. That's it.
Oh, he's putting in caveats already to his bold claim.
DFF style.
It's real hedging of your bets there. All right, let's move to the next one here. Keaney, I'll throw it your way here.
Yep.
Big one. I mean, you spoke about getting the superstar player in a deal is very hard to do. We're talking one of the best. Gibbs for Saquon and Rice and a 27 first. Now, it doesn't have a position, so I'm going to just go mid 27 first because that tends to be.
It would want to be real early for me to even contemplate it. I don't think it's enough for Gibbs myself.
Okay, well, if it's an early first, like if it's in the top 5...
I still don't think that's enough for Gibbs, to be honest. He's a league wrecker. He could be number 1 point scorer for the next 3 years. Barkley, I think, will diminish in value. He's very, very good asset still. Rice, gee whiz, not sure what he's going to be in 12 months. And the first is the first. But I just think Gibbs is... What was Gibbs? Scoot gave you 3 firsts for Gibbs and a second. Is that it? I think that's the price.
Yep. I was reading... as much as 4 firsts is the price for Gibbs. Probably 4 firsts over staggered years, but yeah, 327 firsts and a second was what I would calculate our trade, and then you had Quinshon Judkins for the 28 first. So yeah, it's not enough for mine. Even if that's an early 27 first, I think you nailed it with Rice. Rice is the big one there. We just don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Go. Sorry, mate. I was just going to say, if I'm doing this trade, because this is a real trade, as we've discussed, if I'm going Gibbs down to Barkley, I want better than Rice in the deal.
So what I was going to say is, just to spice this up, what if it is a guarantee to be the 101 in the 27 first?
No.
Dirty.
Now, Hod's just got some tightening.
It's a guy that, talk about someone who's been courting him in Dynasty, Hod.
Jeremiah.
Is that enough for Jeremiah?
You've said it a couple of times. Let's go 12 months in advance. He will come in and be a top 3 or 4 wide receiver. So where do you compare that to the RB1? Because Gibbs and Chase is a wash. So then Smith won't be too far behind him. So then you're adding Barkley and Rice on top of that. That's in 12 months' time. But obviously Gibbs is the number 1 player in fantasy football this year. So that is the number 1 asset for a contender.
Yeah. So the only way that this
caveat.
gets... Yeah, exactly. The only way that this gets somewhat into consideration is if it's the 101. Okay. Well, then let's move to something that might create a little bit more debate and discussion over. And Hod, I've got you JSN 4 Flowers, who just got paid, and a 26, 27, and 28 first, but all of them are late.
I like this one because we've obviously had the JSN trade, and we all agreed that it was fair, but it wasn't in favour of Camo enough for us.
Yep.
So I thought this was a good price check on it. Zay Flowers is sitting low wide receiver 1, early wide receiver 2. So about 10 spots between them. And to bridge that gap, you're getting 3 firsts. I really like it for that side because I also think Zay Flowers is a sneaky chance to repeat what he did last year as the wide receiver 7. And then you're adding 3 firsts, even if they're late, all on top. It really, for me, just depends how you project. Is the regression coming for JSN and the Seahawks this year? And if Flowers regresses positively, then there's not much difference there.
Yeah, I think, the trade that we witnessed in our league was more Harrison in the picks, right? So I just think Flowers is a better asset than Harrison right here, right now. So I'm with you. I would lean to the picks side of things on this one. Although, the 26 late one, so we've already had that. So that's your Concepcion, Boston, that range, Stowers, Ty Simpson type of player. So that's not as exciting, but obviously the 27, you're pretty excited even at that range, Hod. Late 27 first, pretty happy with what you're going to get.
Yeah, for me, it's just the comparison of the 2 receivers, and we might find that there's not a whole lot different between them this year.
All right, Keaney, over to you now. Trevion Henderson and Alec Pierce and a 27 third for a 27 mid first and a 28 early second.
Yep. So I've got Henderson. We were discussing offline how interesting an asset he is at the moment. What's his value? How do you got that there? Like what he's running back in Dynasty?
12,
yeah. So I think he's, as we discussed, he can sort of go one of 2 ways by the end of the year. I would lean to actually bailing on him and taking the picks here, which might surprise you a bit, but I would take the first and the early 28 second and move on because I think he's a volatile asset. Alec Pierce, you can have him or leave him. I'm not a massive fan on Pierce. Yep. You could tell me if you are, Hod, and then the third's the third. But I think that the 20 you can get a better player in the 27 first than Henderson or a more stable asset. So I would probably bail if I got that offer.
It's an interesting take considering you're the Henderson owner, aren't you? Yeah. Alec Pierce is an interesting one because if Henderson would be somewhat maybe a late 27 first for the RB12 right now. So then we're looking at a few picks difference to the mid and then a 28 second for Pierce. Pierce is the wild card for me because everyone is pointing to him elevating the route tree and playing to the contract. I actually think it's incredibly valuable to the Colts offense to have a field stretcher of his nature because it opens up the things for Tyler Warren and Josh Downs in the middle of the field and underneath. So yes, it's a lot of money to spend, but it's actually a strategic game plan spend rather than thinking that the player, the talent, just then goes into
that the money
50 more.
justifies the output.
Yeah.
From the player, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll like, he's a good receiver, but for fantasy, he's a best ball receiver that can explode rather than volume is what we're after. So I'm with you on this one, just because of that reason.
Very nice. All right, I'll keep this going along here. Hod, this guy comes up a lot here because I guess there's a lot of polarising opinions.
Bubble.
Big bubble for a reason. Brian Thomas Jr. and Jadarian Price for a 27 early first, a 27 early second, a 27 late second, and a 28 first. Whew.
2 first, 2 seconds.
Yep.
It's a landslide for the picks.
Yeah.
Smash accept. Jadarian Price was the 106 this year. That's becoming an early 27
A 27
first.
early second
Like
would
that's
fall
the
in
equivalent.
comparison. Yeah.
Exactly right. So then you're getting BTJ for an early 27 first, a late 27 second. It's an absolute landslide. I couldn't believe I saw this. What it did bring up for me, though, is Jadarian Price has torn his Achilles in the past.
Jesus. DFF nearly drove off the road.
Well,
How long ago?
In the past.
Yeah, not now.
Not now.
Yeah, like in high school.
How long ago? High school.
Still.
It was
that's
significant. High school or early college.
It's not a young man injury, the Achilles, is it?
Well, it's just something that I thought we would know about him.
Yeah.
And obviously he's bounced back
yeah.
and had a good college career and then got drafted at the end of the first. So, but I just thought it was interesting because I've not heard that before. And
Yep. Yeah. In June 2022, Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon during off-season summer workouts as a true freshman.
Yeah.
So he missed his entire 2022 season because of it. So, yeah, that has sort of been swept under the rug a touch. You don't really hear much about it. That's a very interesting nugget. I wonder if the DFF knew about this.
Oh, he would have known. He would have known. He would have had his scouts on the scene there, figuring out the full family history of Jadarian Price.
He trades him tomorrow.
That would be fantastic. All right.
Well, speaking of trades, Tim was pretty high on him in his team review, BTJ.
Sure.
He's popped up 3 times already in 10 trades here.
And he won a price.
Do you think... What's that?
And he won a price.
And he won a price, yeah.
Timos.
Yeah.
Big time.
I wonder if we can get
Make it happen.
any substance going around this player
for
the league.
I mean, we can only try. We just keep fronting up with a podcast just for trades alone. It's the only reason why we do these episodes.
Trying pretty hard.
Next one here to you, Keaney.
AJ
Brown, your boy, and Jeremiah Love, your boy, for Justin Jefferson, Carnell Tate, and a 27 second. What are you going to do? This one hits close to home for you.
It does.
Would you do it? Essentially.
Yes, absolutely. I would take Justin Jefferson, Carnell Tate, who was the pick. What was he? 3, 4?
4
in this, yeah. and then the
23 actually
27 second. I just don't. The gap between Jefferson and Brown is just too great, I think. And then Love and Tate, the gap's not massive on this year, and then you get in the extra second. It looks a bit of a slam dunk to me.
In a team in your position that
Different
has
story.
a chance, well,
but you've got these players, and you're in a position of fringe contending.
We're here to win. As much as the DFF doesn't believe this, we're here to win chips, not win the future. So you could argue Brown is above Jefferson for this year. Jeremiah Love is certainly above Tate for this year.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do?
I think I would still do it because I think Jefferson is still above Brown this year, and you could use the 27 second to get some more players of note this year back into your team. So I think I would do it still.
There's also an argument to say that Jeremiah Love might not have an amazing rookie season in that crowded running back room with, that offense. So if you are contending and all in on this year, I guess, he's not an absolute slam. He's very much a future play.
What I've discovered here is there's some teams bailing on Justin Jefferson before the season starts, which is very interesting, Manny.
Not our sensible haircuts.
Not yet, anyway.
Slide in, boys.
Certainly, look, I didn't want to read too much into it, but it's the first time that I've ever seen him at least just pause for consideration when Jefferson's name's been brought up. Whereas, as much as he claims him and Thais had an agreement in place, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And if it was in place, it was because he had too many beers and then he woke up and immediately regretted it. We'll move to the next one here, Hod. Fannin caused a lot of buzz being in a trade. Let's see if he causes just as much. And I'll repeat that again. I don't want to see anyone commenting in a group chat. If you're in one of our group chats, I want to see these comments on YouTube for absolute public debate about these trades here. Not just your absolute nonsense in a chat that you can fade off into existence. You got to put your word on the line, chuck it out there to be debated by anyone.
You know who should be the first?
Pap.
The man who plays around with AI for fun. Because he put everyone on notice for being all nice and lovely on the podcast and then giving their real thoughts in the rankings, the power rankings. So Scoot, give us your thoughts of all of this on YouTube comments. Did you read the rest of the trade out?
I haven't yet, no. But stop hiding behind the cloak there, Scoot. That's a good point. Harold Fannin and a 27 mid-first for Cam Scatterbo, old Tucker Craft, and an early 27 third.
I don't know how you're calling a 25-year-old man old in Tucker Craft.
Your boy.
Kraft cheese, my boy.
Oh, Jesus.
Compared to the other players, he's
Where's
been
the
around
drop?
for a long time.
Where's the scat drop?
So
we've got to get to it.
This is interesting because Fannin and Kraft in rankings are a wash. So it's a mid-27 first for Scatterboo and an early 27 third. I'm Kraft over Fannin, but I'm a 27 first over Scatterbo and a third. So I'm leaning Fannin in the first.
Is Blake Corum in this deal?
I was waiting for it.
If Blake Corum was in it instead of Scatterbo, I'd go Fannin.
Okay, interesting. Keaney, other than a little bit of insight there, do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to look at it. Scatterboo actually scares me a little bit with the way he plays as well. So if we could cash in for a 27 first, yep, I would.
Very nice. Speaking of scary, Keaney, I'm going to throw this one your way. CMC for Burden, 2 injured boys.
Oh, this is where you go. Has the hype gone too far that you can just flip Burden for CMC? And to be fair, on most dynasty rankings, if you're into that and you look at that, he's above him. Burden flat out is just above Christian McCaffrey in dynasty, which is it's a big leap. It's crazy. So
if we started a redraft today, sorry, not a redraft, a startup dynasty draft.
Yeah, he'd go before him. Yeah,
that's a bit too far.
This feels to me like the only calculus required is, are you a contender or not? I'd still take Christian McCaffrey if I'm Timos. I'm doing this. I'm doing Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's arguably you could say it's less than what he did give up.
Yeah. That it just shows me how much the Burden love is hitting dynasty.
Is this pre or post groin? Do you reckon?
It's probably
pre-groin?
but
pre-groin? It's
still probably not. Yeah, as Hod said previously, his dynasty evaluation won't change too much off the back of a 4-week groin, but he's probably the hypiest player of 2026.
Who was this player last year?
Who was the Burden of last year?
Good question.
Because ironically, they're ranked quite similar, JSN and Burden.
Ooh.
But JSN didn't get
the
hype. He didn't get as much hype as Burden, but he also didn't have the competition that Burden has in Loveland and Rome. So I'm just trying to think of does it often ring true when the players hype in the dynasty community?
Not trying to pigeonhole the DFF, but in all seriousness, was it a Lad McConkey?
No, it was until Keaney Hod got signed.
Year. Yeah.
Then it all went out.
Yeah. Interesting
Polarizing.
question. All right. Last one for you, Hod. Amon-Ra. This is an interesting one here. Amon-Ra for T. Higgins and an early 27 first and a mid 27 first. You love your 27 picks, but is that enough for a superstar in Amon-Ra?
So, very conflicting. I think Amon-Ra is one of the best picks in fantasy this year. And I think he's the most slept-on elite wide receiver of all time.
Yep.
Every year.
Because of Chase and Puka, but he performs just as well.
Consistency is its own stat in fantasy, for sure.
However, I land on the other side because I think the Cincinnati Bengals this year could be a really sneaky Super Bowl play.
Yep.
Every year Joe Burrow's been injured, he's bounced back the next year and had an almighty year. And that only means that Chase and Higgins are really impressive. So I think Higgins, he's currently Dynasty wide receiver 14, so he's no slouch. But then with the season I think he's going to have, then you have an early first and a mid first. I think that is it's a great trade, and I think it's one that I would be on that side of.
If you're contending?
I think both.
Okay. So you're telling us the Prestige Worldwide is going to just win it again? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think his team would do very well in a redraft league.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying yes.
Yes.
Keaney, do you agree? Just quickly. Or are you sticking with a superstar?
I'd be tempted with Amon-Ra in this.
It's certainly going to tempt you.
It's probably more your love for the... What are we talking there? QB and wide receiver in 2027? Like, what are the types of players we're getting? I just think he's a known superstar in an elite offense. I'd probably lean towards
the
Amon-Ra.
mid first could be running back.
I'd lean towards Amon-Ra if I had to choose.
Yeah. All right, and last one here, Keaney. We bring it home with one of your boys, Genty, Old Ashton, and a 27 mid second for Bucky Ladd, a 28 first and a 29 first.
I think this one's... There's a lot going on. I think it's relatively even. If I had to lean to one side, I'd lean to taking the package of Bucky, Ladd, McConkey, and the 2 firsts. I just think it's a buy low on both players, and you're getting a couple of firsts on top. Now, all Genty's stuff is very strong, and the likelihood of him being very, very good is high. So I'm mindful of that, but I don't know. There's something about the offense that it still doesn't scream like they could be outstanding, and he could have a sort of mediocre year again. So I would probably take Bucky Irving, Ladd McConkey, and the 2 firsts.
That's 2 for 2 that Keaney's players in the deal. He's gone the other side.
Mm.
You nailed it on the buy lows. Ladd's not so much a buy low, but has the upside. And so does Bucky. I know Papa pointed to it. Slept on. 28 first, 29 first. They're so far ahead. It's kind of tough. I'm interested by the Genty chat by you. I think you're trying to throw us off the scent here for your redraft coming up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I think I'm going to take the best player in the deal here because
which one's
if
that?
There were Genty, if there were 27 picks in this, I'd lean the package. But given the 27 pick is on the best player side, I'm going with that.
Yeah, which you could say is a late first in most other years. All right, very nice there.
That's good.
I'll probably lean on the Genty side for that last one too, but they're nice and close, and that's why these are really good. Jump in the comments, please, and give us your thoughts. Which ones do you think we absolutely got it wrong? They're the things we've got to bring up here. We don't need... You can jump in and agree with us if you want, but tell us where you think we absolutely got it wrong, because that's what's going to create a lot of comments and chatter in that section.
And potential trades.
True.
That's what we're doing this for.
All right, we're just rounding the hour mark here, but we thought we'd finish with a nice little juicy think piece as well. And I'm going to jump over to, we're going to use a few different sources here, but a fun one is always Keep Trade Cut as a website here. And it really just puts you in a situation where they're not always easy. And this is based off Superflex tight end premium as well. Actually, it does say no tight end premium, but we're going to, for argument's sake, say it's a tight end premium because that's how we roll over here. So the scenario is, if you're not watching and you haven't got this on the screen right now, Baker Mayfield, Sam Laporta, Cam Scatterbo, Keep Trade Cut. I thought this was an interesting one because it's 3 different positions, different ages. What are we going with? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. You haven't made it easy on us, mate. I'll tell you that.
No, that's the point.
We've got to cut one of these. So the way I would look at this is, just my view, I think you've got to keep the QB. So I'm either or get something for a QB. So my thing would be keeping Baker, because I think having a QB in Superflex is enormous, particularly someone like Baker, who I agree contract year has told the Bucks to get stuffed. He could go absolutely nuts. Scatterboo, I'm concerned about his value going forward. So I'm happy to trade him now and move him for the best package I can get. And Sam Laporta could just be a middling tight end with the amount of mouths they have to feed in Detroit. I think there's 5 or 6 tight ends better than him. Let him go.
All right. There we go. I've got them on the screen there. Keep Baker, cut Laporta, trade Scatterbo.
Surely you agree,
Hod.
Strap in, because I haven't got one that I agree with here. And that is why fantasy football is such a good sport, because how we all trade with each other has got me whale oil beef hooked.
Say that again. Travis Cloak on.
Baker, whale oil beef hooked.
Yeah, good.
G-rated. Baker Mayfield. I am trading Baker, and you said the reasons I believe in, but that's why I'm going to trade him. It's the Superflex. He's proven it before. There is some hype about him bouncing back, and if there is a player in the league that is motivated to stick it up, it's him. So I think he's going to bounce back this year, and I think someone will pay for that in a Superflex league. I am keeping Sam Laporta because I want any part of that offense. I want one of the top 8 or 7, I would have him, tight ends in a tight end premium league. And I think he's going to be worth a little bit more at the season's end because of the offensive coordinator and what he did with Trey McBride. And I'm cutting Cam Scatterbo because, as fun as he is, he's already shown his injury risk. He's a battering ram. I don't think he's overly keen to stay on the field by how he talks. And I just think the running back in this scenario, in this format, is the position I can go without the most.
Very nice. 2 polar opposite decisions there from the two of you. And guess what? I'm going to give my little thoughts here. First of all, Baker, there's the upside there, but he's getting on. He's 31 years old. He's been a bit of a journeyman up until his time.
He must be ancient, according to you. If Tucker Kraft is old.
Yeah, he's an old man. So I'm cutting Baker because I get the final say here, guys, being the host. I'm buying into the Drew Petzing love here for Sam Laporta, and I think because of that hype, I'm going to trade him because I do think that his value is right now. He hasn't done anything, and his value is already skyrocketing. And just because I love the CTE man himself as a homer pick, I'm keeping my man Scatterboo, and that's mainly so I can just play the drop.
I'm a scat man.
This is
if there's ever a reason just to keep a player, it's for this drop alone, surely.
I think so. But Jesus.
He plays this on repeat in his house.
I reckon he does. This is a good one for this is a good one for the listeners as well. If we put up these 3 boys and the scenarios that have keep trade cut, this is a good one to see your opinion on what you're doing, because it is hard when you've actually got to cut someone. That's a really hard decision.
Different positions too. Usually keep trade cut, you go
3 of the same,
3 back-to-back positions. Yep, that's how Yeah.
Yep, jump in the comment sections, please, and get your thoughts in. So hopefully an episode that's got the juices flowing. It's got some people thinking about which sides of trades they'd like to be on, or in that last situation, a bit of a keep trade cut. And we'll throw a few more of those around just to get people going. How did that feel, guys, to get in the hypotheticals today?
Very, very good. It just gets you excited for what's around the corner. And I think, as we've touched on, this is to get the league thinking about opportunities. Even that bubble from Dynasty Daddy, jump onto it, dynastydaddy.com, and have a look at the most traded players of recent times. It's a good little summary of what's going on, but I'm excited, Hod. I'm very, very excited.
If you aren't trading, you aren't living in this league. So great exercise. Hopefully something comes of it, gets the league activity right up at the most exciting time of the year. We are at the precipice of the season.
Love it. That's all from the league down under, whether you're rebuilding, contending, or convincing yourself that next year's your year. Thanks for tuning in. Hit us up on Instagram for all the league banter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Jump in the comments sections with your thoughts today so you never miss an episode or bonus content. We'll catch you next time, and remember, flags fly forever, but so do screenshots of terrible trades.
Sure do. Peace.